Today we are going to discuss the various career options that are available to a student after completing. Why this question is arising this? The common sense tells us that after MBBS, he or she is going to become a doctor. What is there for the career options? But the problem now is the mushrooming number of colleges and increasing number of seats is becoming increasingly difficult for the current medical graduates to find a employment and earn salary commensurate to their requirement. They need to answer these three questions. Is my future going to be rosy? Yes, you need to answer. Find an answer. Then what am I going to do next? Then when am I actually earn money? In my personal experience, a doctor will start earning money if everything goes on well only from the age of 40. And if you are a doctor, you get a postgraduate seat of your choice. You can pursue the post graduation and pursue your interest in that specialty and become a specialist and start earning money as a specialist. But there are so many students currently finding it difficult to get a seat in the postgraduate program because the current statistics says for every 10 students appearing for PG NEET exam, only one manages to secure a clinical course seat. So, what happens to the others? So, before you want to start any further, you need to answer this question: do you really need to earn money real fast? And if so, if there is a need, if there is a dire need of loan repayment, all that, you need to choose a career that suits your temperament. You need to honestly join a career in a fast growing sector, or you should plan going abroad. It is actually one of the options, but currently it's getting difficult. Going abroad is again a real difficult thing these days. Then getting a private practice. This is still one viable option medical graduates can pursue. Now, these are the career options that are available for medical graduates who have not managed to secure a seat of their choice, their own liking. They should get a seat, postgraduate seat, is to their liking. So, if they fail to do so, there is no point in waiting for more than 5 or 6 years outside aspiring for a seat in the PG program. So, the other options that are available are you can join the insurance sector. Currently, this sector is experiencing a 15% growth, and the job actually is less stressful. All the doctor needs to do is to approve a set of medical claim. The pay starting pay will be around 60,000, and the moment they clear the 2 exams, they get promoted. Within 5 years, they can secure a pay of 1 lakh. This they can have a monthly pay and have their own private practice to increase their monthly earning. Then next comes healthcare management. This sector is not that well developed in our country, but I'm convinced that quite soon the need for this healthcare management sector is going to be there because with a large number of private sector hospitals mushrooming, they need healthcare management professionals. And if you manage to secure a MBA degree in healthcare management, that will be quite useful. But if you have the talent for this field, you can very well choose it. Then there comes healthcare documentation. This is again very important and much needed in the current day litigation scenario. For this to happen, every private hospital will have to have a good medical records department, and ideally this department is usually held by a medical record officer. But it is headed by if it is supervised by a doctor who is trained in healthcare documentation, it will go a long way in helping the institution from getting into not getting into. Then comes academics. Supposing if the student is unable to get a postgraduate seat in a, let's say, a clinical specialty, they can always go ahead and choose a non-clinical subject and then join a medical college. Even if they choose a clinical subject, it is always ideal to join a medical college and start a profession in academics, because that earns them the title as a teacher, and it gives them a lot of resources, learning resources, and they can keep abreast of the advances that is taking place there, chosen specialty. Next comes job opportunities in government, private sector, public sector. For this to happen, you need to take UPS exam or a MRB exam if you get into a state service sector. Private sector, where in the hospital they recruit doctors, duty doctors, go and join them. But if you join private sector, it is going to be highly stressful, because private sector practice is usually target oriented. Last but not the least is setting up a private practice of your own. This is you be your boss and you work as per your time. So this is majority of the doctors tend to take up private practice, but currently lesser and lesser doctors are using this. Then about the insurance sector, currently it is growing at the rate of 15 to 20%. Starting salary is around 60,000, which I sincerely feel so okay, a good start. And then the major flip side happens to be there is a lot of stagnation in the sector. There is no scope for growth. And MBA degree, post MBBS could make the progress, I mean, promotion opportunities a little bit easier. But the most damaging thing or the most distressing thing is the job per se is not challenging. Now, this healthcare management, actually, this sector is really challenging because the growth is currently around 20% per annum. It is a upcoming field, currently the Indian scenario. A degree in the management degree or a marketing degree post MBBS would help. Still, I'm not sure. That is the reason why I put a question mark. Now, healthcare documenters. This is again currently upcoming field. Slowly, people are taking it up, and you can have medical editors, technical writers. But these are all people who contribute to the journal and books and magazines. So these medical editors and technical writers are much sought after these days, because the number of journals proliferating, number of publishers aiming to publish books. So these people are in need currently, but they don't have a regular source of income. So that is one drawback. Then archivers who archive learning materials and technical material, they again need to be technically qualified, but this type of archivers are not that much known in India because it is fairly common. Now coming to academics, it is actually the ambition of all the MBBS doctors. They need to pursue postgraduate course. Ideally speaking, you should choose a course of your liking. Then only you will be able to do justice. Then only you will have the passion to pursue that course and becoming a specialist in that area. Next is all MBBS students can apply for PhD directly without undergoing a postgraduate program. So if you want really interested in research, jolly well take up PhD post MBBS. Now, regarding postgraduate courses, it can be divided. You have two choices currently in the country. Within the country, you have two choices. One is the mainstream courses like MD, MS, and then next is DIP NB course. Admission to these two types of courses are only through NEET score. So or every one of you will be dreaming to secure a postgraduate seat in a government college. But the seats available in the government college and securing a seat with the current reservation formula, highly favoring service candidates, it's very difficult. In fact, chances are getting very, very slim. So these students will have to take up their course of choice in a private institution. If they decide to take up a course in a private institution, again, it adds to the expenditure or the cost of uh, postgraduate medical education in a private college, highly prohibitive, and only persons lucky enough to have enough money in the bank can pursue post-graduation program in a private college. Then let's come to dependent courses. One basic advantage of dependent courses, these courses are conducted not in government in colleges, it is conducted in private hospitals, alternative hospitals, and students who join there need to pay only 5 lakh tuition fee per annum. In addition to that, currently they get paid around 25 to 30,000 rupees as stipend per month. So naturally, this again is again a much sought after postgraduate program next only to the mainstream courses in a government hospital. Even before the private college postgraduate seats get filled up, dependent seats get filled up because the cost of fees, the fees per year is lesser, much lesser than when compared to mainstream course in a private college. So DPNB, all these two mainstream course and DPNB course selection is based only on NEET score. So you for you to join either a mainstream course in a government college or a DPNB course in a private hospital, you need to have a good rank in NEET. Again, back to square one. Then you can take up courses abroad. For that to happen, best place to go, currently easy one to go, is United Kingdom. For that, you need to pass a lab exam so that you will get employment there, then pursue your FRCS degree in UK. Now, about the mainstream courses, highly competitive. You need to have an excellent NEET score. You need to be a topper to get a seat, clinical seat of your choice. And then, let me tell you honestly, only 10% of students manage to get a. In PGC, you have the choice of whether you want a clinical course or a paraclinical. And now again, you need answer another question. What are you going to do after your program? So, how are we going to take up mainstream courses are available after All India PG entrance exam, that is NEET exam. Institution run by central government, institution run by state governments. Seats are 50% seats are available for as an open quota where it gets filled up on all India basis. Then private institute need to pay a hefty fee as annual fee to pursue the program. Now, All India PG entrance exam, now it's called a NEET exam. This is your best bet. Everyone wants to take up a NEET exam, get a good score. Purely MCQ based, you need to prepare honestly for a year. And then here, combined study helps you a lot. Here, 4 people join together and prepare for the exam in a combined manner. Preparing from standard textbook is very important. And to beat the boredom, it's really boring. Prepare for the exam. Beat the boredom. You can have resort to a card system where in the front of the card you will have the MCQ written down along with the choice. At the back of the card, the answers will be written. Moment you take the card will be in the card tray. Every day you lift 10 or 15 cards, see the question, and try to answer. Check out whether the answer is right from looking card behind. So this type of card system helps. The current day there are good softwares like Anki, which can provide flashcards, which can be displayed in your mobile phone or in your device, handheld device, or a laptop or a desktop. So you can use Anki flashcards also to create multiple choice questions, and this will help you to train for the exam. For to join the state-run institutions, it is that much easier if you are a service candidate, because 50% of the seat goes to service candidate, and weightage preferentially is given to the seniority. DNB is actually equivalent to PG degree. You need to clear NEET exam, and then you need to get a decent rank. You need to clear the preliminary exam post NEET. You need to join the accredited institute. It has two streams. One is the basic PG, other one is a specialty PG. Specialty PG is again, it's called super specialty. So basic PG is MD, MS. These are the choices that are. The dependent final exam, you take it 3 years after your registration. You need to present a thesis. It has a regular theory and practical exam. Practical exam pattern follows OSPI or OSCE, which is a little bit different from what happens in postgraduate qualifying exam. You need to secure 50% to pass the exam. PhD, for a MBBS student to register for PhD, you need to be a full-time student, not register for part-time student. If you clear GATE exam, you can join premier research institute. In fact, currently there's an acute shortage of research scholars in the field of medicine, evidence-based. So this is one question which you need to answer. Which course you want to take, whether you want a clinical course or not. You take certain specified non-clinical course, you get immediate employment with a good pay. Whereas clinical courses, the struggle is more, there is stagnation, and there is frustration because you don't have that much promotion opportunities in service. You need to struggle, work for longer hours to get that pay packet. So that is the major drawback for clinical courses. And on top of it, you need to be doing at least 4 or 5 24 hours duty a month. So these things take a heavy toll on your health. Now, best preclinical and paraclinical courses. This can change, but currently, MD anatomy, MD forensic medicine, the moment you complete, you can demand a pay of your choice, honestly. And third one is MD biochemistry. Even MD physiology and preventive medicine are not being paid that much. First top notch payment goes to MD forensic medicine. Number of forensic medicine graduates are less. Then next comes MD anatomy. The third one is MD biochemistry. If you choose any of these three courses, your starting pay is going to be around 1.7 lakhs a starting pay. I mean, the moment you become a professor, you have a pay package of 4 lakhs. I'm talking current going. This may change. I add a disclaimer. This may change, but I'm telling you the current situation. So, what clinical course you can choose? It purely depends on your income. And this decision, let me honestly tell you, is not easy. You're lucky enough to get a really good clinical course. I will prefer you to be open-minded. Just decide whether you want a surgical specialty or a medical specialty. That is the only basic decision you need to make. But the famous adage goes, try to get what you like, otherwise you'll be forced to go what you get. So that you don't feel that it's going to help. If you choose a basic medical or surgical specialty, you should be prepared for a super specialty pursuit, because basic medical means MD general medicine, MS general, and these two specialties you need to take up DM or MCH course. Now, what are the service benefits of being a benefits of being a service graduate or service postgraduate? For you to become a service postgraduate, you need to be in central service, you got to be in a state service or a government organization. All state governments provide a quota for service candidates, and some of the governments prefer to pay full pay even during the PG course as stipend. As I told you, the degrees abroad, UK is still the best bet. You can take a plug. When you take a plug, you can get a job so that you can make both ends meet. And you can take FRCS. But now the beauty is you can take FRCS preliminary in India itself or nearby countries. And if you want a job immediately as a specialist, take up psychiatry or anesthesia because there is a huge demand for psychiatrists and anesthetists currently. And now you can take up, if you decide that I want to take a career change post MBBS, what are the options available? You can take up medical robotics, you can take up software, you can take up nanotechnology, you can take up medical physics because IIT, IITs like Kharagpur IIT, they offer MTech program for MBBS. MBBS graduates can pursue MTech program in robotics, in nanotechnology, in medical physics in Kharagpur. Now, I want to conclude saying that we are in difficult times. There are crossroads. Lots of doors are open. Highly confusing which door you should enter. But I will always advise you to choose the path you are really interested in, pitch your goal, and be relentless in its pursuit. That is the mantra of success. Thank you.